Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 111 of the Wrist Cheese Radio Podcast, your place for horological hot takes, taboo topics, and often unpopular watch opinions. As always, I'm Schmidt, and I'm joined by my good buddy. You guys know him. You love him. Mr. Bro Dinky. What's up, bro? How are you?
My man, a little strange late week recording this week.
Yes.
I know you were away on business. We had to kind of coordinate this as we go, as we do sometimes. But yeah, we're on a Friday night recording, which is nice because I feel nice and rested. I didn't have to work today, so all is well in that regard. We've got a pretty diverse show today. Got a little news. We got some new watches. We've got some predictions, some interesting things we're going to kick around. So nice to hop back in the saddle. I guess people will be getting a couple episodes in a shorter period this week, but
yeah,
they definitely waited for it. So well deserved on that.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Yeah, aside from that, I think I mentioned last time, losing a lot of sleep. My little guy keeps getting out of his bed and just running amok in the middle of the night, and I think he gets that from me. I was a night owl until I had a second kid, and now I'm not a night owl anymore. But I was the guy I couldn't go to bed before like at least 1 or 2.
Oh yeah,
and I would still hop out of bed at 7 or 8, no big deal. And in college I would go to bed whatever 3 o'clock, roll to class at 8, no big deal.
Yeah.
Grab a coffee at some point. I'm chill. I'll get a nap during the day. You don't have these luxuries no mo. So,
Yes.
So it just becomes weird. Your day shifts a lot. I find myself like I used to wonder when you read about these dudes like Tom Brady who get up at like 4 a.m. and you're like, what do these people do? And they're like, oh, I get it. Like they get up before everybody and just knock out all that stuff that I wish I could do throughout a day, but you can't. And yeah, but that's kind of it on my end. What's going on with you?
I mean, nothing, not a whole lot, man. Just getting back, as you said, from a business meeting. It went well. Everything was good. Weekend. We're recording here on Friday. We're a couple days out from the Super Bowl as well.
Yep.
So we'll be having a little shindig at the house here for that. But it should be fun. It's good to be recording again. And episode 111, dude. So many.
Moving along.
I know. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. And then you have an NWA coming. I won't spill the beans on that one, but that's cool. That's going to be an exciting
yeah,
one.
so let's wait till it's in my possession.
Yeah, that's
before I jinx myself. But I'm super
hotness.
excited.
We're going to get excited for that, folks. That's a good
one. It's it might be something special. You never know.
Yeah. So I'm going to lead it off with a quick congrats to our friend Nick, who is in Japan right now, our good buddy Strap Habit. He was featured on the Standard H podcast. For those who don't know, that's a podcast about apparel, watches, cars, a little bit of everything there. But he was nice enough to mention myself and our little effort with the pink straps and everything, because obviously they got into that, which was cool. So a quick shout out to Nick and a congrats to him. I sent that over to my contact at the charity, and he was pretty hyped about it. He was like, "Oh, this is really great." And Nick talks about his own battles that he dealt with cancer and stuff like that. So my guy's like, "Oh, if you guys wanted to do something for the men too, you could. We can." And I'm like, "Listen, I beat people over the head 1 month out of the year with it, and I don't feel good about doing it again." But I was joking around. I was like, "Well, I'd have to get Ball Watch Co involved. I would have to reach out to them because there would be nothing more perfect, right? If you're going to do something for testicular cancer than having Ball Watch Co. Right? Too easy, right? Balls for balls, something like that. It writes itself." And the guy, I had him rolling. He's like, you laugh. He's like, but that's the kind of stuff that raises money. I'm like, I know.
But you know what though? He's right.
He's right. He is right.
And the thing is too is like, how has nobody connected this?
Well, I don't think there's that many people as warped as myself.
But I mean, now that you've said that,
I put it out there. So that's for the taking. Somebody else could, who can do that? Like, I feel like some of the like micro brands, like Studio Underdog, probably do that. They get away with, they make crazy editions of their watches in limited quantities all the time. So they can get away with some kind of
they probably could,
like an Onions watch or something. Yeah, something funny like that. Chestnuts, grapes. I don't know.
Like, it's coming. You've already put it on the ether. Yeah, it's coming now for sure.
Fine. It's fine. Somebody else can run with that. I feel bad enough that people follow me for snarky humor and memes and stuff, and then I hit them with that. I don't think I can do that twice a year to them.
It's only a matter of time before it comes.
Yeah.
You've already put it out there. It's only a matter of time now.
Yeah. Um, other than that, I guess we've seen watches make another foray into the mainstream. As strange as it is, we see a lot of celebrities now wearing watches not as watches. I think everybody's
Hmm.
seen the pictures of Taylor Swift with a watch
Yes.
around her neck, which is weird.
Thanks for Yana for starting the stupid trend.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen there was a dude who had his braids with an AP around them, a
Oh my
bust down
God.
AP, which was also kind of weird. But yeah, I guess this is a thing now, which is strange because you definitely can't tell the time with a watch on your neck unless you're looking in the mirror. I guess
I
there's
mean,
no
but
room
when
for
you're,
pockets in those dresses for phones. All right,
I
don't
mean,
tell me that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I mean, when you're as rich as Taylor Swift, do you even need to know what time it is? The answer
No,
is
I know,
probably
and
not.
she didn't have it set. I know it was supposedly set. Her album's called Midnight. So it was set at midnight. I get it, but it's just it's a weird trend to say the least.
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah.
Not like it. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I
No, it's
don't
not
like
for me
it.
either. Again, I like to wear watches
Fashion
practically. I
thing.
use them practically. I will use my watch to tell the time daily.
Exactly. I know it's a novel concept, right? To use a watch to tell the time, but here we are, 2024, having people trying to use watches as fashion statements and in the worst way possible. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. But I'm not fashionable and I'm definitely not a fashionista. So here we are.
Nor a Swifty. So
Definitely not a Swiftie. So if you are a Swiftie and you're listening to this, I'm not sorry. I
it's
think
fine.
she's
My
rude.
wife's a huge Swifty. I don't care.
Oh, I'm
She
thankful
loves John
mine.
Mayer. She loves Taylor Swift. We get into these quibbles all the time about
Yeah. Well,
it.
I'm honestly glad my wife is not a Swiftie. So thanks, honey.
Other than that, Grand Seiko opened a new flagship store. Looks pretty dope in New York City. Might have to go check it out. But Grand Seiko, thanks for the invite on that one. Right, probably your biggest proponent. Right, your biggest supporter out there is me, and I live locally in New York. And I
Hmm.
see all these nerds that you invite to these things. I'm like, really? I'm like, these people are not. I bet they don't even own these watches. I own your watches. I love your watches. Reach out. Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
You know what though?
Let me be there for the opening. That's something I would have liked to have been there
You're just not
one
rich.
time.
You're just not rich.
No,
It just
it's
happens. It just happens when you're not rich.
no,
Just
it's not even that. It's just it's I don't move their products per se. A lot of the people there were
neither do those
dealers.
other guys,
Well,
dude.
you have people like Derek Monty sells their watches and stuff like that. I understand that.
I mean, okay, so you got Carrot and Co. Great. You're a dealer. All right, fantastic.
Yeah, I saw a few dealers there, and then
But see, but here's the thing.
your
As a
usual.
dealer, I would be pissed that you invited me to your grand opening store party because now you're a retailer in my territory,
True.
impeding on my
Well,
on the market.
I think he's over in Flushing though, which is pretty
I'm
far away from there.
Was
So
it
I don't
Soho that they opened the store
I
in?
don't I think it's I want to say Madison Avenue, but either way, it's far enough away that like that's an inconvenient hike to go from that area of Queens to Manhattan, like especially during business like busy
Mhm.
times. So
Yeah.
I don't think that'll eat into his profits too much, but I just happen to see him in the pictures. But yeah, like yeah, that's one I would have liked to be,
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
and I wouldn't have had to borrow a watch to go to it.
Yeah, you would have won yours. Yours.
Speaking of, however, they did just drop a few new models. We are getting a 38 millimeter high beat in two different sort of snowflake-ish dials. They're semi. They're a little bit like the one I have. They're a little bit
Mhm,
representative of
mhm,
the cherry blossoms. One is supposed to be like a winter cherry blossom. One's like a spring cherry blossom. There's a pinkish style and a greenish style. I honestly really like the green, to be honest. It's a funny pattern, but it's an interesting shade of green, and it's like something that I don't think you're gonna get in a lot of other
It's a pastel green.
styles.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a pastel green, but it's you get that kind of sexy texturing and stuff.
yeah.
I do like it a lot, and now that they're giving it to you in 38 millimeters, I think it's a nice package. Their watches are not getting any cheaper though. I think this is like $7,000, which is ridiculous, and it makes me sad because even the one I bought, I was like not stoked about the price, even though I got a discount on it. But man, watch prices,
Yeah, bro.
damn.
They're high. Yeah, it's 7,900 euros. So you can
Yeah, there
imagine
you
what
go.
that
So
is
it's like
USD.
8,500 or something.
Yeah.
That's disappointing. But that is
I,
the SBGH 341 and 343. If you were counting along at home,
the pink one is nice, though. I will say
it
that.
is nice.
I mean, both of these are nice. It's a 38 millimeter, which I think is gonna, appeal to a lot of small wristed watch enthusiasts. They're high beats, so people are gonna like them. It's an overall nice watch. I mean, to me, I think it sits a little proud in the photos, like it sits a little high,
It
based
does
on
look like that.
the wrist shots that I've seen posted. And of course, it still has Grand Seiko's, notoriously bad clasp. But if you can overlook that, and you're willing to give it a shot, I think the colorway looks awesome. I think the overall styling is awesome. Just be mindful that it could be a tad thick comparatively. And again, the clasp. But I don't think those are deal breakers for most people. So
They've also put out a Ginza dial in the 41 millimeter reference, similar to the one I have. Now, I
mhm,
thought this
mhm.
looked kind of lame on screen. Like I said, Nick is over in Japan. He sent me a photo of it live. It actually looks pretty dope. If you haven't seen it, it almost looks like somebody made like a glass mosaic dial. It's supposed to be representative of an overhead shot of the Ginza district of Japan.
Mm.
I not really in love with the concept, but I think it's a cool looking watch now that I've seen it. Again, I think in pictures
So,
it's kind of
so this
iffy, but it looks really cool in person.
so this is a trend that Grand Seiko has done before, right?
So
I mean,
it's I think Seiko in general, they've done tributes like this in the Presage line and
mhm.
I think in the newer
There's
like
another GS in
alternate
it,
Alpinist line as well. Um,
but there's also a full-fledged GS version. It was like a Tiffany pink dial with the Ginza mapping, I guess, if you will.
Similar to this one though, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
similar to
the
this
other
one.
ones look more like almost like an overhead shot of a pyramid.
Yes,
This one,
yes,
yeah. So they kind of do this with different districts, like to pay homage to the different areas of uh, certain parts of. I don't know if it's Tokyo or Kyoto or Japan overall, but
yeah.
they
So,
sort of
so
just do
the
this
yeah.
geographical stuff. Again, I'm not head over heels about it, but I think it can produce some interesting combinations at times.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I don't.
again, though, expensive.
I'll say this. I don't hate it. I could do without knowing the tie-in because it's really irrelevant to me. But I just think the dial looks cool. It like when you first described it to me when I was looking it up, you said it's like mosaic glass, or like a stained glass window. That's immediately what I thought of. It just has this cool kind of like, even though even though the lines appear to be basically straight, like I saw in the previous version, they're more angled to kind of match the overall top down shot from some of the
Yeah.
city
Yes.
streets and stuff like that. This like looks like it's all parallel lines. Um, but the different shades and texture of the blue is what comes through here to represent the city, and it almost looks like the lines are crooked that way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my eyes, but
No, I agree with
overall,
that.
I think it looks
Now,
cool.
now here's an interesting tidbit, right? So you're getting a high beat here as well. It's a limited edition, 530 pieces. This is 4860 euro, significantly less than the other one. Weird.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
And this one's bigger.
It's a 40 millimeter.
Ah, they're slapping the pink tax on it.
I guess. Yeah. Again,
They're like,
that or the
they're like,
mid
oh, you want
size.
the mid-size small watch?
That's so
That's another
interesting.
$3,000. I'm sorry.
It's so weird.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Does not make any sense at all. And it's essentially the same watch. Am I wrong?
I mean, certainly similar.
I mean, maybe the case is slightly different.
Well, I also do have to check. I don't know if this is a steel watch or a titanium watch, which might make a little bit of a difference, but still, that's a significant difference. I mean, we're going to talk about a titanium watch in a minute that there's barely any difference,
Yes, we will.
which is also absurd.
That is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd.
But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe this is a bargain.
Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe. All right.
What's next?
Move it along. We'll circle back to this one when we find out more. Let's go to the Piaget Polo 79, which was all over my feed of late, which is weird because a $73,000 watch, not exactly the most accessible piece on planet Earth.
Wait, no?
No,
What?
no.
What? Okay. All right.
I mean, not for nothing. It is completely solid gold. It is
Yeah, it is.
100% on brand for the integrated folks out there.
Yep.
I think it's handsome. I think it's a neat watch. Again, 73,000, a lot.
But at least you're getting an in-house micro-rotored movement.
That is
So
true.
there is that.
It does
It's
have
not
some
like
fancy bells and whistles. It is 7.35 millimeters thick, which is pretty
insane.
sexy.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, they do thin. Let's face it. Piaget does thin well.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, this is literally crafted out of solid gold, so you can imagine that.
Yep.
Not a watch for me in terms of styling. I'm not really big on like the 70s ish, like gold nugget, gold bar type aesthetic. But I can appreciate it because I can see some of the photos of the craftsmanship that went into making this piece. It's pretty remarkable what they were able to achieve. I think it's cool that they brought it back because this was a pretty iconic Piaget model from many, many, many years ago. And it seems to kind of be on trend for a lot of brands right now to kind of do this. But yeah, I don't have $73,000 US, so I'm definitely not gonna go out and buy this watch. But I can appreciate it. I think it's cool. If you got that kind of coin and you got that kind of empty hole in your collection, why the hell not?
Yeah, and I think I'm a big fan of that 70s era look. And I also think that I like this because it reads a little bit it just gives me a little bit of old Constellation, which I love.
I could see that.
Constellations.
I could see that.
Even the ones up to the 80s and 90s. I like those too. I like the old pie pans. Like I get a little bit of that vibe to it, and I think that's what I like about it so much. But I again, it's kind of a technical marvel, which is cool, but man, that's a lot of money.
But I mean, I'll say this though, man. Like right now, those early 80s, 90s constellations, I think we're in the sweet spot before they really start taking off again.
I said that on oh god, it must have been like 2020, 2021. I did an Instagram live with someone from Carolina Watch Club, Bearded Southern Gentleman, if you know him. Okay. And he asked me kind of like where I felt like the hotness was, like as far as like what I was looking at, and that was what I said. I said those I'm partial to the pie pan era constellations. Like those are so awesome for me. And just those in precious metals get me every time. They have all kinds of different dial variations. They look great size. They still run amazing. I know people who have them. And I said that then, and I they've gone up a little bit since then, but I think, going forward as less and less will be available because they're not obviously making any more, that may just continue to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, if you're in the market, man, some of these constellations.
Well, they're on everybody's list I talk to somewhere. Like they might not be their first choice right now or first priority, but everybody I talk to is like, yeah, I've been meaning to pick up a Connie, and I'm like, yeah, don't wait too long.
I mean, the other day I was looking at like a 90s, automatic constellation from, Omega, and just, it was like $1,200. Like that's almost like a drunk eBay purchase.
Yeah, it's almost a why not. It's close.
It's just like it's like this or new Oris. Like, let's go at full send. You know what I mean? I was like, you could just enough maybe get away with it. But they're on eBay. They're on Chrono. I mean, like there's some old stuff floating out there that just like nobody wants, and it would be kind of cool to have one of those. Like I know RJ from Fratello has kind of like that 90s Constellation. I think it's like the Constellation 2 or whatever they called it, but it doesn't matter. It's slim. It's super like comfortable. It's like in that 36 millimeter range. And I don't know, man, there's something about it. I don't know what it is, but there is something about it.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to somebody who keeps cranking out the hits here in 24. Zenith is putting out another Chronomaster, this time in titanium.
Yes.
This one is pretty monochromatic, a lot of grays, a lot of silvers. Looks
Mm-hmm.
good. It's got a little tinge of red in there.
Yeah.
Very, I would say masculine, right? Kind of gives me like a
Mm-hmm.
T1000 vibe.
Yeah, a little Terminator
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. But you can get this one on rubber or bracelet. We know the bracelets are awesome. And this one is in titanium, so it's going to be. I already thought these were pretty nicely balanced and light watches. This is going to be like ultra light,
Yeah.
so that's going to be cool. And this is
I,
what I was talking about before, though. The bracelet edition of this watch is 11.8. Rubber
yeah.
strap is 11.3,
Mm-hmm.
and you were talking about how the regular Chronomaster is like 11.
Yeah.
That's a
That's the
surprise to me.
that's the crazy thing. So the regular Chronomaster Sport in white dial with the black ceramic bezel is 11,000. The brand new one that they came out with in green is 11,300. So for $800 more, you can buy a full titanium version. It makes zero sense to me
Yeah,
at all. So either the titanium is priced too low or the steel is priced way too high.
yeah. There's definitely an
That
interesting
doesn't make
dynamic
sense.
there.
I mean, $800 is not much. I mean, we already know we love this watch. You and I have talked about the Chronomaster Sport for a while. It's not a watch I would go buy, but I have a lot of respect for it. I think it looks phenomenal. And to have this in titanium at under $12,000 is an incredible proposition. But it's kind of interesting that you get the steel version for $800 less. That just tells me that realistically, that CM Sport should really be like 8 or 9 grand.
There's definitely there's something at play
That
there.
just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't add up at all, man. At all.
Regardless, I think these are cool watches. I think they're very handsomely put together. They're pretty aggressive. I feel like if I was a big motor enthusiast or car head, whatever you call it yourselves out there, I feel like this would be a watch that I would want to pick up.
Yeah.
It's just it's neat, and I've always wanted an El Primero, but again,
Yeah.
pretty expensive.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But
Just very
but no, but
expensive.
they're awesome. I mean, if I like, it was one of those things like if I had an unlimited budget, I would still probably have some kind of an El Primero
Yeah.
in my collection
It's an
because
icon, man.
they're
How
dope.
could you
Yeah,
not?
yeah. So pretty awesome. Let's go to a sneaky drop. Omega put out some Planet Oceans in
Hmm.
some, I guess we'd call it a military vibe, a safari vibe. I don't know what you want to call it, but there's a gray version, a beige version, and sort of a grayish and greenish version.
Hmm.
Boutique only, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that was the one thing that surprised me
Yeah,
because as
me too.
far as I know, man, Omega doesn't really do boutique exclusive or boutique only, but it's certainly clearly listed on the website as such. Um,
Yeah, give
uh,
us the skinny here. You know better than me.
I mean, from what I can read in the description that they feature on the website, it looks like it's your regular run-of-the-mill 8900 Planet Ocean, which we've known and loved for a while now. The difference, I think, is going to be in the finishing here, because as far as I can tell, these are full matte finish cases.
Yeah,
So there it looks like there's no polished
I
surfaces at
think you're
all.
right about
Even
that.
even the bezel looks like it's brushed ceramic. Um,
I know you're getting a brush dial, at least on the green one.
yeah, you're getting a vertical brush dial. It's kind of all of the Railmaster
Yeah,
almost, if you remember that. But the two other colorways are cool. I think my favorite is the green. Or I'm sorry, the gray.
the dark gray. Yeah,
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. There's something about it. It kind of gives me that same vibe as like this military 300-meter diver that watches of espionage keeps posting.
oh yeah, I've seen that one.
But like it's kind of like that had and the Planet Ocean had a baby, and that's kind of what I imagined this to be. I don't know. It just looks very tactical to me. It looks very like
It's a little bit like if there was a Planet Ocean, No Time to Die.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's not as
exactly.
intense on the patina or anything, but it's
No, you
almost
can
there.
you can tell that the patina is
It's definitely there, but
it's
I don't think it's
there,
as
but it's
intense.
not like
Yeah,
a radium or it's like a very beige color, like
yep,
just off white enough, like an eggshell almost, it looks
yep.
like. Um, but I like them. As far as I know, they only come on strap, but you have basically 6 models in total. You have the time only and date in the 43.5, but you also have the same color variations also in chrono.
Chrono, yeah, I saw those as well.
So
Yep.
6 in total.
That's cool. Yeah, I like the gray too. But again, I don't think I would want these on a bracelet. I know some people are bracelet heads and they demand bracelets, but I think if I'm going to get something with this color scheme and sort of this theme of a watch, I kind of think it belongs on a NATO
I mean,
or a
if you-
nylon
if-
strap. Don't
yeah,
sue me.
I I agree with you, man. It's like they as soon as you scroll down the web page, like they're already prominently featured on
Yeah,
the NATO.
as they should
You know what I
be.
mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, this is kind of a NATO watch for sure. But no, I like them. I think they're cool. I'm excited to see when they start hitting the local boutiques. Price point seems to be in line with the rest of the PO collections, so that's cool. The other difference though, you get the little seahorse on the case back. So for
I
all
did
those
see
little,
that. Yep.
yeah, so for all the haters out there, they're like, "Do you need to bring back the seahorse?" Like it's there. It's still an exhibition case back, but you get the seahorse embedded in the crystal or underneath the crystal or something. Who knows how they're doing it? But I like it, man.
It is
It's
nice to see that they
fun.
didn't bump the price up just because new, because that seems to
Yeah,
happen a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. I mean, I could,
Right? Because
I
new.
could see that. I could see that. The only one that is different in price point is the beige. Just to put that out there. So the regular versions of the Planet Ocean on steel are 7,100. These new versions are 7,100 on the rubber strap. So I guess if you added the bracelet from the other one and you took it off for the rubber strap, even though they're at the same price, you're technically getting less. So maybe there's the concession. But the beige one is 7,500, and I think the reasoning is when I was reading the description on this one, it said the bezel was made of silicon nitride,
Okay.
which, if you guys remember, that was the same material that they used for the dark gray Planet Ocean that came out last year. So I'm wondering if it's maybe more cost associated with that development for that part. I don't know, but there you go. So just for the sake of being correct,
All
there it
right.
is.
Got a couple more here that we can get into some topic stuff, but this is going to help sort of bleed into that. Breitling has enlisted Victoria Beckham to
Just
put out
stop.
some
Just stop. Just stop.
chronomats. Yes, chronomats in the 36 mil variety. And now a 36 mil chronomat is, I mean, it's not exclusively a ladies' watch.
It's
Like
a
I
ladies'
think,
watch.
but no, this is certainly a ladies' watch. But I'm saying you could, if you didn't slap that on there, I don't see this being much different from like a Black Bay 36,
I mean,
like the blue
look,
version.
I'll
Look,
be
some of
honest
these
with you.
teal versions and the sort of brownish pinkish version I could see, but if I'm looking at the blue one, I don't see that as much different from if you're going to put out like the Tudor mid-sized Black Bays.
Yeah,
That,
I just know having tried these on personally, like the 36, trying it on because ever since you and I've been doing this podcast, like I'm much more open to much smaller case sizes because you're like, dude, check out the 36, check out this size. So like I go and see them.
well, yeah, and it's definitely
Right.
watch to watch. Like it's certain ones you're like, oh, they totally pull it off, and other ones you're
Yeah,
like, this is a little dainty, or like this
yeah.
just doesn't
This
work, or it's too thick, or yeah.
this one to me felt a little bit too dainty, just because of the way the bracelet tapers ever so aggressively on the
I
Rulo
know, but I
bracelet.
like that bracelet. I want it to work
I
so
know.
bad.
I know, I know. I don't know. And again, I don't know who this is for. You and I've talked about Breitling for
Yeah, we
many
don't know what they're
episodes
doing.
now. What are they doing?
And this is just strange. All right, it's first of all, I don't really see. I don't see how you get from Breitling to Victoria Beckham, number one, right? I mean, they picked up Giannis Antetokounmpo, right?
Yeah,
Massive hulk of a basketball player who, by the way, wears a 40 millimeter, which is hysterical, because there's all those bros out there that can't wear below 44, right?
yeah.
But this guy's 6'11" and built like a brick shit house and wears a 40 millimeter. But anyway, I don't see how he got to Victoria Beckham. I don't see how. I don't know. These are just weird watches to slap her on. I mean, they put like a little VB counterweight on the second hand.
Yeah, I mean, it just.
I mean, I guess they're just trying to get a new demographic in the door here.
But bro, I mean, like,
But like, don't they have? I feel like they already have female ambassadors that are like pretty decent. No,
yes, they got what's her face, Charlize Theron.
yeah, I thought they had Charlize yet.
It's like she's part of the actor squad,
Yeah,
according
right
to.
with Adam
Ugh.
Driver and whoever
Yeah.
else.
I mean, I don't know actually know if he's still around or not, but look, man, it's just it's a weird get for me. I mean, it's funny because their husband used to be a Breitling ambassador, and then he nixed them for Tudor. I'm sorry, no, not him. I always get him and Brad Pitt confused.
Okay, I mean they were popular in the same era.
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
that.
yeah.
They were both like the dream
Disregard what I
couple.
said. Disregard what I said. But
Scratch that.
regardless, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just like super random. She's not an ambassador. Like, is this gonna be that she is an ambassador now? Like, I don't understand. Not to mention, you can't forget we forgot to mention the Chronomat BO1 42 Super Bowl edition.
Oh,
It's
I had
totally
that on my list for later, but
it's
yeah, yeah,
totally
why not?
not gonna date itself. But
Why not?
oh my God, yeah, I don't know, man. They're in such a weird way, and everyone's like, yeah, George Kern's been really doing it well. I'm like, has he though?
It was weird because when he got in the door, we got those kind of colorful Navatimers and stuff, and I was like, okay, all right, what are we doing here? This is cool. All right, and he's flying the plane, and everybody. It was right when Watches and Wonders came back,
Yeah, I
and it
remember
was
that.
like there was a little buzz in the air, and I don't know. They're in a weird spot.
Yeah, it's they are in a weird spot, and I'm actually looking at their website now on their like watch finder or whatever watch guide that they have here. There's a lot of watches that I haven't even seen them being featured.
I do come
Like
across some once in a while, and I'm like, okay,
it's like there's like a ice blue GMT that they have on a rubber strap now. There's a few of them called the South Seas that look like they're like the 36s, but they're like female oriented. I, dude, I don't know what the hell they're doing. It's weird. It's weird. Okay.
I don't know, just a weird get for me overall.
Yeah.
And last but not least on the new stuff, Timex is once again giving us a collaboration with Sekon Sekon, this time in a strange attack on Valentine's Day. I guess for all the single folks out there, you can get a Q in either gold tone or silver tone with a bunch of patina on it and black bezel. And the idea is that they've rearranged the letters to spell out my ex and with an L for loser, and your ex is a loser, and that's what the second hand novelty in the middle is, the L shape thumb and forefinger, like Smash Mouth said. Um,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I don't
Real
know.
quick though.
That's
Real
it.
quick. Real quick though. I was right. David Beckham was with Breitling before.
Oh, was he? You looked it up? I
Yes, I
don't
did. I
remember
was like,
that,
this
but
is this is eating my brain. But this is a long
you're
time
usually
ago.
pretty accurate, so I believe you when you say things like that. But
This is a long time ago. This is when like the Transocean came out, and like
okay, all
this
right,
is like the Breitling John Travolta days, like the
okay, masculine
46 every
brightening,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Okay. I just had to Google it because I was
multi
like,
beat
I
brightly.
know I'm not thinking I'm crazy. Okay, continue.
No, it's just it's an interesting novelty thing. Funny because I made it kind of a joke in one of my captions at one point about a potential Christmas collab between Timex and him, where he would make a bah humbug watch, and instead we've got this one sort of taking a run at Valentine's Day, which is one day out of the year. So I don't know how many other days out of the year you're going to wear this, but I don't really know what to
And
say about it.
and
Other than
it's
that.
only applicable, I guess, if you are not in a committed relationship. But it seems to be that that's the trend these days. But interesting, interesting. Aesthetics aside, I don't hate it, but like practicality aside, like W2F, WTF. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why would I have to buy this? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, it's kind of, creatively cool, but almost like it's like too austere now where it's like not cool. You know what I mean? And it was funny that you and I were talking about this off air. You're almost like, it's almost like they signed a giant contract with Sakon, but like he has to commit to like 20 watches. And we're just running out of
And they're
ideas
just
at
going
this
to
point.
keep running them out there.
Yeah, we're just running out of ideas at this point. That's the only thing I can think of at this point. Like, why? Yeah, one of the coolest like creative directors within your midst because you're designing watches about this dude, you know, and then you're partnering with external creatives to make your watches. I don't get it. It was like cool like the first few times, and like now it's just sad.
Yeah, I made a post today with my own renditions in it, and
Yeah, those are actually pretty funny though.
bro, the Arby's roast beef. Come on,
I know.
if that doesn't get you, like,
I mean,
do
I
you have
saw it. I
balls?
saw it. I was like, my wife would think this is hilarious because my wife loves Arby's roast beef for whatever reason.
And the one that below that is just a second hand of a hoe.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, this makes sense.
Yeah, it was.
This
I
makes
had
sense.
I had a lot of fun with it, but somebody in the comment section literally said, "What's the emoji for done to death?" Like I've had enough, and I'm like,
Yeah,
fair, I guess.
fair criticism. That's when you need that's when you know you need to stop.
Yeah. So
Stop! You're killing him. He's
he's
already
already
dead.
dead. He's already dead. But so this led me to something that I was talking to you about beforehand, where I just feel like watch brands in general, and this is just an observation, and we were sort of just kicking it around, where I don't know if it's, I try to go to the source on this one. Where I'm trying to figure out maybe watches were so hot during COVID era when everybody was locked inside and stuff, and now they have to sort of keep up that like it's impossible. They're not going to keep that momentum, because people are
Yeah,
now, they can travel again, they can put their expenses somewhere else, they're not in their house all the time. So now you have to try to figure out how to parlay that and stay hot and keep selling and all that other stuff. And
yeah,
these brands, I don't know if they're just coming up with these gimmicks to try to do that, like just seeing what sticks, but we're just getting a lot of that. I mean, just in the last two alone, the Victoria Beckham thing, like, look, I don't know what deal with the devil the Beckham signed, but like both of their careers are 30 years ago. What have they been
yeah,
doing? Like they're just
yeah.
hanging out, and people are just like, hey, do you want some money to wear our stuff, and we'll give you a collection, and you'll be in the
I
news every
mean,
day. Like
you're
there used to be a radio station here in New York, very popular one, before podcasts like took over and I could just listen to whatever I want every day. I had to listen to the radio. And like every
mhm.
day, like the celeb gossip would start off with David Beckham. And I'm like, dude, David Beckham has not played in 20 years. Like, I don't need to know what he's doing. He's just walking around as like a handsome guy. Good for him. But like, he's not doing anything.
Hey man, he had a Netflix special. All
Like,
right,
are like like the Spice Girls running around still? I don't know. Like, they both had a weird movie. He had Bend It Like Beckham. She had Spice World. But like, again,
both had a weird movie. You're right. You're right.
again, mad long ago.
Yeah,
What's
it
good?
was.
Like, what? I don't know. Maybe I just don't care about them. But like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, man, you're absolutely right. And it's like that person that just like it. Honestly, what it reminds me of, it's like Meghan Markle and whatever her husband's name.
Harry,
Um,
I think his name is Harry.
it's Harry, right? Um, like they just don't know how to go away. Like
They just walk
nobody
around, and because they walk around, they're
it's
famous.
like it's like nobody likes you. Nobody wants to hear about you. Nobody gives a crap. Like we just go away. It's like no, you're not relevant anymore. And it's just like it's a continual push to just be relevant. But they're still doing it. Like I mean, I'll be honest with you. Not a huge David Beckham fan. Didn't grow up watching him play soccer. Didn't really care about soccer. But I did watch the Netflix special. That was kind of cool. Some memes came out of that, and that was kind of cool. But it was kind of a cool to see like his dedication to the sport and all that stuff. So okay, cool. You're relevant potentially. What has your wife done? She was a pop star like 30 years ago. Nothing since. Is she a brand?
She's married to David Beckham. That's it.
I guess.
She
I don't
bagged the
know.
Playboy. Like,
But no, I think you're certainly right that in some aspects that a lot of these brands are trying to vie for positioning because I think that they don't know what the consumer's mindset is right now.
I agree.
Like it's just like you said, we're gonna take all these different ideas, we're gonna throw them at the wall, and we're gonna see what sticks. You know, and like even now, it's like I don't know if like we're headed for like the good stuff that's happening within the watch world, or like we're on the cusp of just like bad stuff happening. I almost feel like this is the equivalent of like the 2000s crash of watches. You know what I mean? Like where everything is just like these crazy overinflated designs. Everyone hates everything because it's just like we're gonna try to cram high horology in the most disgusting 90s abominations possible and then try to sell it. And everyone's like, it's just this just isn't it, fam. Like it's not the thing. Um,
Well, something weird I've noticed also, and that makes me kind of think what you're talking about might be right, is that we're people are starting to get a little bit of what they want, and that worries me
what do you mean?
because if brands are going to start listening to people saying, "Oh, this should be smaller, this needs that," and we want GMTs, and like they're doing it, like that makes me think they're like, "Crap, we got to move some products."
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man, and I only know this because I have a lot of insiders within within the community, within the industry, that directly work with these brands. A lot of brands are struggling, dude. It may not appear that way on social
I mean, it
media
only makes
or
sense given who's got money to throw around on watches right now.
well, it's not even that. It's just like the marketing thing. Like Richemont not doing so hot. I know that. Breitling, I've heard, is also not doing so hot. These are things, and I know this, and I'm not going to say any specificity things because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Um, but I know that they're doing a lot of stuff for salespeople as a way to incentivize them to move product. Okay. I know that because I have friends in the industry that have communicated that to me. The same thing with Richemont. They're throwing a lot of things at them to make them do this. And the other thing is with Richemont right now, being objective, is they've made a massive push to opening up their own corporate run boutiques. And they're closing a lot of retailers that they have partnered with for many, many, many years that have really helped to build their business. And I think as a result of that, they're hurting. I mean, look at IWC, man. They just lost Lewis Hamilton.
I did see that. That's
Okay.
rough.
And it's not public per se, because I think still technically he is an ambassador, but the connection between Lewis Hamilton and IWC was Petronas team, which he is no
Yeah,
longer a
no
part
longer
of.
with Mercedes. Yep.
He's with Ferrari now. So does that mean he's going to start wearing RM? I don't know. But your biggest potential marketing person
Yep.
has since departed the racing team that you were directly affiliated with that brought you into the F1 world. And that made you culturally relevant because he won so many titles for Mercedes. What's that going to happen now? What's that going to be now? You know? So I think a lot of these brands are really trying to hammer out what's going to keep them alive, what the consumer wants. And I think this might be a bigger problem that's worth investigating. But I think a lot of these brands are really scared because they don't understand the Gen Z clients. For many years, they were focusing on different types of people, and I've heard that like a lot of these stores are not doing well with like young clients. They don't know how to attract them. And I've always said jokingly that like Gen Z doesn't even understand themselves. So how can a major brand market to them? I mean, I don't know if you caught this, and this is not necessarily watch related. Did you know that Tiffany and Company did a Pokemon jewelry line?
I did not.
It's hideous. Like we're talking like golden Pikachu pendant necklaces with like diamond eyes and stuff. It was insane. Completely ridiculous. This happened over the holiday season. It was ridiculous. But they're trying to market it to Gen Z. I'm like, okay, maybe some Gen Z people are going to buy this, but who is really going to go out there and buy a solid gold Pokemon necklace from Tiffany?
This seems like something the Paul brothers would wear, and that's it.
But again, it's like you're able to attract a very certain, very, very specific demographic, right? You're either going to have the people who are going to hate buy this because it's going to be a one off, and in 30 years it might be actually worth some money because it was just a small blip in time, or You're going to have the people that are can be like, ah, that's so cool for the clicks and everything on social media, but it would never actually buy it. And I don't get it. I don't get it. But these brands, it seems like every turn they're bending over backwards for these younger demographics of consumers, and they have no idea. They're losing their identity. What made Tiffany successful is because they were able to stay true to their roots for so many years, decades and decades and decades and decades, that they became an icon. When you start making Pokemon Ball blue Tiffany boxes and things like that, then you're losing your grip of reality.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, listen, when you think about the most successful brands on earth, they're often described as Tiffany brands because
Yeah.
that's the caliber of who we're talking about here. But
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Incremental changes.
It's crazy
Incremental changes.
to see companies like that struggle.
And
But I
and
also think
again,
that that means nobody's invincible, you know?
100%. 100% nobody's invincible. And that's why these companies are freaking out because they don't know the next generation. They don't know how to appeal to them because, as I jokingly say, it's like Gen Z doesn't even know what they want. They want everything and nothing all at the same time. They want companies to bend over backwards for them when it comes to sustainability and ecological consciousness and all of these things that are applicable to them and what their mindset or what their eye sees is important. And that's great. Nothing wrong with that. But it's almost as if they're forcing these companies to attract themselves to these things. And as soon as these companies pivot, they're like, yeah, well, we didn't really care about that long term. I still want my $8 Starbucks.
Yeah.
And it's just like now these companies are like, well, we just changed our entire marketing structure for the next 6 months to appeal to you, and now you're telling us that that doesn't make sense, that it's not relevant anymore. And they're like, yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
exactly what I'm
look,
saying.
I don't know if you heard McDonald's is coming out with their own like Starbucks-esque store. It's
You
called
talking?
Cosmix. It's
Oh
called.
yeah, the Cosmics. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're getting one where I live.
So
I'll let you know how it is.
that's their Gen Z pivot, basically.
Yeah, it's trying to be healthier, trying to give it a funky, cosmic-y themed vibe to it. I'm like, okay, like why? Like a Big Mac's still a Big Mac, dude.
Yeah. Well,
People,
they're not.
people,
I don't even think they're selling that stuff there. I think they do have a menu, but I think it's like
it's a menu, but it's like
a crunchy menu.
it's designed to be like more specific, like it's not the whole
No,
McDonald's
no,
menu.
totally. That's that. But that's what I'm saying. It's an interesting move on their part. I mean, they are literally just trying to take Starbucks market share because they're like, listen, if people are still buying $7 frappuccinos in this economy, we need that.
Yeah. Yeah, so according to their website, they're gonna have a creamy avocado tomatillo sandwich, spicy queso sandwich, McPops, pretzel bites, hash browns, twist cone, caramel fudge brownie cookies, caramel fudge sundae. From the McDonald's universe, they have an M&M's McFlurry that the machine will always be broken in,
Yep.
and an egg McMuffin sandwich. But in addition to that, they have drinks: churro frappes, s'mores cold brew, sour cherry energy burst, tropical spice aids. So it's almost like Sonic and Starbucks had a love
Yeah,
child.
that's
Is
exactly what
kind
it
of
is.
is kind of what I'm thinking here. Yeah, but it's interesting. I mean, I'm excited that we're getting one where I live. I will go at some
Yeah, give
point
us
to
a
check it
review
out.
when that kicks off.
But it's just like I had to drive on the other side of the world to go to it, so I'm kind of like, it's a little bit irrelevant at this point. Maybe who knows? But I just think overall, I think the brands are struggling to understand their next demographic of buyers. They focus so long and for so many years on people that made sense in how they shop, and I don't think that these younger millennial and really focusing on Gen Z that makes sense to a lot of companies. And so they're trying to get onto these collaborations, these fashiony trends, these one hit wonder type situations. And like you said, it's just like every single thing that they come out with, it doesn't quite make sense. And therefore, I think misses the mark. But like one person on the internet might think it's cool, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I just think like when we got a 37 millimeter Black Bay, I was like, whoa, like that's different.
Yeah. Somebody complained enough on the internet to force a company to make a 37 millimeter watch.
I mean, I see these, I think everybody sees these, but a lot of companies will offer up like weird sustainability stuff like,
Yeah.
oh, you buy one of our watches, it's going to feed X amount of kids or plant trees or help restore certain animals to the ecosystem. I'm like, all right, is anybody verifying this?
No. No, they're not.
I mean, I like to think it's happening, but
Yeah. I mean, me too. I mean, you could even say that Omega was doing something similar too with the box moon swatch collection, right? You saw that, right? They're doing the
yes,
auction
yeah, with Sotheby's, I think.
with Sotheby's. Yeah, it's going to Orbis, but that's Orbis and Omega are like long-standing partnerships. Like we're talking since 2012 or something like that.
Yeah.
So not just like a normal thing, but yeah, I mean like moon swatches at the Omega boutique that you can like bid on through Sotheby's, and whatever they auction it for, the highest price goes to charity to Orbis. And they're doing this in like I think 7 or 8 different locations around the world. But it's all the funky moon versions that we saw last year in one box set. I'm like, okay, that's new. Never in a million years did I think that Omega would be auctioning off like swatches, but showing them on display in their Omega boutique. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a funky idea. But I think that's kind of getting to the heart of what you're speaking to. It's like they're just like, I throw something at the wall, man.
Well, that's why I was even surprised that it seems like they're willing to offer up Snoopy to the Moonswatch. I never thought it would get there. I thought that might have been a
Yeah.
bridge too far, and I guess it's not.
I mean, at this point, man,
I mean, the Moon
that
Swatch was an excellent thing that they threw at the wall, and it's like that was a Gen Z home run to me.
yeah, yeah, no, it was 100% it was.
But I mean, but I see these kind of changes like all over the place. And I'm like, I'm just wondering. I'm like, is this their attempt to either just ruffle feathers or get people in the door, or just try to make enough of a stink, right? Like Rolex making a 40 millimeter Explorer.
Yeah.
Was that necessary? I don't know. I think they're just
Right,
trying to
right after
make
they
waves, like
discontinued
just be like,
the
well, just keep be like, well, better buy this one.
yeah, yeah, right after they discontinued the 39 millimeter version. So they literally increased it by 1 millimeter. Fantastic.
We've seen the RLX titanium now. We've seen an exhibition case back on a Rolex. I never thought I'd see it.
Yeah.
Why? I don't
You're
know.
right. You're right. You're right. I mean,
I don't know. I don't even know why that needs to exist. I feel
it,
like I feel like it's weird that it does. Like, I mean, yeah, you could throw that onto a Rolex, but why?
well,
It's not your thing.
just
It's not your
wait.
thing.
Just wait until Rolex unveils whatever new Milgauss they got cooking in the kitchen. It's
Well,
gonna happen.
that was my next thing I was going to ask. If you have any watches and wonders predictions.
I mean, it's hard to say definitively because I just like I'm so uninspired for this Watches and Wonders, to be honest with you, and I haven't really given it much thought. Um, but I think at some point, and it could be this year or maybe it's next year, because typical Rolex fashion, they give you things when you least want them or when you don't know that they're even coming.
Yeah.
They give it to you. Perfect example was the RLX Titanium.
Yeah.
Like we saw that prototyped version, 2 or 3 years ago on a rubber strap, and then we get it on the bracelet like, last year or whatever it is. Um, I think that there's most likely a new Milgauss coming at some point, but more specific in anti-magnetic, like a truly anti-magnetic Milgauss. Because right now the current one that they discontinued last year is not,
No.
right? It doesn't suit the needs of today's modern resistance ratings for magnetism. And I think the Milgauss is probably going to come. I'm not even going to try to speculate what it's going to look like. Some people want it to be like more, all of the vintage one. I don't think Rolex is that creative. I think they'll do something stupid like give us crown guards and like call it a day. You know what I mean? And it'll probably be like, oh, well, the Rolex Milgauss for the last 2 decades, it's been in 40 millimeters. We're gonna give it to you in 39. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah,
gonna do the
what do you want?
reverse, the reverse Explorer. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, it's slightly bigger. We're gonna give it to you slightly smaller, and that's what you get. Like I feel like it would be something silly like that. What about you? What do you think?
I'm kind of thinking along the same lines. I really don't have any specific predictions. Like maybe you get, I don't think it'll be like a Coke because you got the weird green
No,
GMT,
no.
so I don't think you're getting
I
anything
don't
like
think they're
that.
gonna
But
bring anything like that because that's what everyone wants them to do. I don't think it's gonna happen.
but I think we're gonna see some brands go for it though. Like we were just talking about, some brands got to pull out the stops, and it's it's gonna be now or never at this point with the way things are going financially, globally, and everything. So
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see some brands really shoot for the moon, which could be exciting.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We've definitely seen some really cool stuff thus far from the Zeniths, from the Tag Heuers. So I'm excited to see what comes out of Watches and Wonders uh, from everybody else.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not really holding my breath though, as far as that goes. I
It's
do. I
it's it's
again, I
weird,
do
man.
think Breitling's got to make some moves ASAP.
Yeah, man. I know they're struggling. I know it,
That Super Bowl watch, what are they doing?
dude. I don't
A
know.
dated, like it's a one time thing. The Super Bowl, this Super Bowl happens once. It's
Yeah.
not it's not a Super Bowl themed watch. It is this Super Bowl themed watch.
It
They
has
got Trevor Lawrence running around over there. That kind of blew up in their face. He sucked this year. I don't really know what to do.
yeah, bro. I don't know. Now, luckily for them, though, there's only 58 of those pieces apparently, so it's whatever. But
You think they'll unveil any Universal teasers at least? Something?
oh, I don't know.
Too early?
I think it's too early because they said at minimum it's gonna be 25, 26.
Yeah. Maybe some
I
concept sketches. Something.
I
Gotta
mean,
get the people. Gotta get a little
it's
chubby.
if it's gonna take too long, man, it's gonna fall back into people are just not gonna care.
Yeah, it's gonna be irrelevant.
It's gonna be irrelevant. I mean, that's just honestly what I believe. I mean, maybe I'm an idiot, but it just honestly what I think is gonna happen if they don't do something quick. It's gonna become irrelevant. But what do I know? What do I know? It's interesting. We talked about this a little bit last year, but I just don't feel. I feel the watch industry's in this. It's in a weird funk, man.
I like to think so, but I'm a cynic, so I always feel like that.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just jaded at this point. Maybe
Could
that's what
be.
it is.
Could be.
But it's just like it just feels like everything that's coming out is so uninspired that it's kind of like it's passe. It's washed up, you know? Like the second stuff. I mean, like I like the idea of it, but at what point is the novelty dead?
Well, and maybe if you just spread it out a little bit, you know?
I mean, but it's just like he went so like the first time it was so hard because it was just like wow, the industry is so capable of changing and doing something cool and different and independent.
Yeah, like when he
And
was
then
messing
everyone's
with
like,
Nevada and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, ooh, this is a good idea. Let's just all copulate on this dude. So he's just been collecting checks from all these brands. I mean, I wouldn't stop either if it's the gravy train is running, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, at some point, yeah, the ideas is just they're dumb. Like I think the last second that I thought was kind of cute was the 50 Phantoms. You
Oh, yeah,
know,
that was a neat one
like that
with
was kind of
Spinnaker.
funky.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Spinnaker. It was relatively inexpensive. 50 Phantoms for around Halloween time. Like I thought that was kind of
Yeah, so that it
kitschy.
wind up.
It was kitschy. Am I gonna buy a watch with 50 ghosts on it? No, probably not. But I mean, that would be one of those things like, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Here's my credit card. You know what I mean? Like I could see that. Some of these other pieces, I'm like, man, that's when do I wear this? And I think that that's maybe part of this problem too. It's almost like we've gotten to the point where like we're trying to buy watches for specific things
Yeah, that's an issue.
where it's like, okay, this is gonna be my Halloween watch. This is gonna be my Mother's Day watch. This is gonna be my Valentine's Day watch. Oh, I don't have a Valentine. Well, this is going to be the my ex sucks watch. You know, like
Yeah, people used to buy watches for okay, I'll buy a summer beater that I can wear in the water and kick the shit out of, right? But at least
yeah,
that was productive.
but you know, and back in the day too, it's like you just changed the fuck, you just changed the strap, okay? You just changed the strap. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. I guess I'm gonna wear my red NATO.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Oh, it's October. I guess I'm gonna put on my Brodinky collaboration with Strap Habit pink. Real men wear pink rubber strap. Okay, that makes sense. Halloween, you wear an orange NATO. My God, it's a novel concept. But now we're buying like full-fledged watches and novelties and all these things for specific stuff. And it's like, why are we doing that? It's because these brands are pumping out stuff that is, in my opinion, creatively bankrupt. And we are too stupid not to buy it.
It's almost like where we feel like we have to fit the watch to a specific cause or need as opposed to the brands making us need the watch, right? Remember when
Correct.
you felt like you saw a drop and you're like, I need this,
Yeah.
right? Timex Q came out, even the original time. Everybody's like, I
The,
need this,
when the
right?
original Timex Q came
Casio,
out,
I need this. That's what people
it
said.
was
I need this.
sold
Those aren't
out
even expensive
for
watches.
weeks. For weeks. It was sold out for weeks. The original Timex Q. I remember
When
I
the
had a
Black Bay
buddy
came,
that
when
got one.
the Black Bay came out here, it was heat. I need
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
right?
Man. Taking back to 2012, man.
Yeah.
The golden age, baby. The golden age. 2012. Burgundy Black Bays out here. Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. It's like I go to these brand websites and I'm just looking at them. It's like, this stuff is all boring. Boring, boring, boring,
Well, it's
boring.
tough. You know what? It's become such a thing to bank on your heritage. So when you try to go forward, you get away from that, obviously. And
Yeah.
it's, oh, well, you're not doing your thing.
Yeah.
But then if you do your old thing, you're not innovating. And they've really painted themselves into a corner in that regard.
I agree.
That's tough.
100% agree. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. We'll see what comes down the pipe. I imagine it's gonna be a lot of what we just discussed at Watches and Wonders and all the other watch shows that are coming up. But it'll be interesting to see what they do, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully they
Uh,
can change some stuff.
Lastly, any Super Bowl prediction?
I really don't have a dog in this fight. I really don't care. Like I said, I'm having the parties, but it's just more so to get my family together and eat some pizza.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, I would like to see the 49ers win, personally, but that's just because it's kind of the underdog.
Yep.
If Kansas City wins, and hey, man, they got like
I
a
think they're
couple other
actually
Super Bowls.
I think they are favored, but underdog in the sense that they're not the juggernaut that KC has been.
Yes, again,
Yeah.
and this could go one of two ways. It could be a great game to watch, or it's just going to be a Kansas City blowout from the very beginning, and that's kind of what I don't want to happen. But we'll see, man. Mr. Purdy has been pretty crazy.
He's gotten it done. He's gotten it done. But
He's gotten it done, so let's see if he can get it done.
yeah,
I
it's
really just
why
don't want. I really just don't want T Swift to win.
she
That's
doesn't
maybe.
lose though. This chick does not lose.
I know. God, I just wish it would
Uh,
go away. I hate that she's captured the hearts of like so many millions of people around the world. It's like
it's kind of strange. It's a strange phenomenon to say the
yeah,
least.
dude. It's totally manufactured. It's totally manufactured. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, that's why a lot of people think this whole NFL situation is
Yeah,
totally manufactured.
yeah. I guarantee you, man. It's gonna be the case. Like, I want the 49ers to win, but I guarantee you, it's gonna be the Kansas City Travis Kelsey Taylor Swift show. Like, that's what the NFL wants because that's the viewership that they're after. And then from here on out, it's going to be nothing but celebrity couples and
Well, you get that, and then you get all the people that love to hate it as well.
yeah,
That's the issue.
they're gonna hate watch it.
Yeah, because I remember if you ever seen Howard Stern's bio movie, private parts. They say the average Stern listener listens for 1 hour a day. They say the average Stern hater listens for 2 hours a day. And both of them answered, we want to see what he'll say next. So the people who hate him listen for double the amount of time because they're like, I can't stand this guy. It's the same thing. Like the people who are, there are people who are going to tune in to be like, oh my God, look what they're doing.
Yeah. They're going to hate watch it.
You know?
It's silly, but here I am. I will be contributing to the madness.
I was going to say, it's not really any different. I'm going to be sitting up waiting for stuff to come out of Watches of Wonders to make fun of. So I guess it's not really gloves on both hands there.
Yeah. But watching it, well, we still have time, right?
We got a little while, yeah.
Yeah. Watches is April, I thought, right?
April. I don't know. I think it's usually in March, but it might be April this year.
Is this in Watches and Wonders? Let me see here.
I just keep seeing a lot of buzz about it.
April 9th to the 15th. And apparently on the 13th and through the 15th, it'll be open to the public. But April 9th through the 15th. So we still got a whole month away.
Yep.
2 months away.
But it's a good time because you get to see all the people that are going to dive bomb them and try to release stuff beforehand to break the internet in advance. So
it's coming.
That'll be fun.
You can imagine it's coming for
always
sure.
A good time. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what's coming.
Yep, we'll see. All right. That aside, I think we're done here, sir. I will catch you shortly. Folks out there, you be good. We'll see you next time on 112. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Later.